Hey guys, so a different video today. It's not about gear, underwear, swimmer, anything like that. But what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to start doing videos on my frequently asked questions, FAQs, that I get from my different sites. And many of you know that I post videos and images on different sites. I like to, in the last year, I started extending what I do on YouTube and putting them onto other sites like OnlyFans. But anyways, it's a community around gear and clothing and all that stuff. That's how I view it. People ask a lot of questions about the clothes, the gear, that kind of stuff. And the number one question that I get is, what's your grooming routine or hair removal routine? And it's something that's a bit private to me, and I kind of been hesitating to do the video. All this is personal preference. I've had a lot of reasons why I just prefer less hair. What I have done over the years is about everything. So I've tried shaving, all the different techniques, waxing, that stuff, and each of them has worked to a degree, but I found that I can suffer from red bumps really well. It's not necessarily smooth. It looks really bad depending on what you've done. Waxing can be very much an irritant. It inflames my skin for a lot of time afterwards. It can be red and it will get puffed up, and that looks terrible. So that was my preference in the past, and you just kind of have to suffer through, a day or so of being all swollen in some areas, that's not ideal. I think I may have gotten more allergic to it or something over time. It kept getting worse, so I stopped doing that.
The Phillips and Norelco one blade, these are actually not very expensive, and I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling you what I do here. It's just one mode. You can't really see anything moving. It has two edges. It doesn't feel sharp, but you need to be careful with it. And not bad. It's not going to be perfectly smooth, but much better than other devices. I've tried many. Okay, what about shower soap? That didn't come up right. You probably weren't thinking about that. So I use this shower soap, which I'm kind of liking. It's the CeraVe SA body wash for rough and bummy skin. Basically has that this acid in it, and that's going to prevent some red bumps. And I've been using this instead of normal soap. It's been working pretty good. Do you recommend this? What do you shave with, right? And so I've tried many things over the years, and I've found that specifically this Fusion 5 and this orange color are pretty good. A bit surprised. And they're comfortable, they cut well on your face and the rest of your body. They glide pretty well. Really, if you're going to do this technique, you have to make sure your blades are sharp. You do have to replace them. It's kind of a judgment call on when. I wouldn't let them go if you're doing a pretty full shave, maybe 2 to 3 weeks on a blade. If you use them on your face, maybe faster than that. Maybe what you do is you have one for your body and one for your face. The key thing is you got to change your blade. If you don't do that, you're probably going to get ingrown hairs. You have risk of cutting yourself. You're going to spend a lot of time going through the motions without cutting anything. So unfortunately, it's expensive, but you're going to need to change your blade pretty quickly and use high quality razors. So that's that. That's what I'm using. In regards to what shaving cream you should use, I don't have any particular preference, and I have not found any real difference in using normal shaving cream, such as this one from Gillette, and honestly between just using soap. So I don't really have any strong recommendation for you in regards to shaving cream. To me, it's kind of mostly all the same. So it may work better for you, but my experience is it doesn't seem to have a measurable impact on anything that I'm trying to demonstrate here. So this is what I happen to be currently using right now.
And what I found is just this Braun IPL device, and it has been the best thing. There's some trade-offs that I will speak about, and everything I'll tell you, I'm giving you my own opinion, what I've done, but I want you to read the instruction manual and use it according to what the manual says. This is only guidance, or this is only my feedback on what I've done. You should only use what's said in the manual. And I have done that. So I'll give you the warning there. Let's go back into the device. The device is targeted towards women, but like everyone has hair. So, if you don't want hair in certain areas, then this is probably what's good for you. If your hair is darker, there's a hair scale on whether this is a good fit for you. If your hair is really blonde, it's probably not going to work. So make sure you understand that before you buy it. It's not the cheapest, but I will say it does work. It's not a permanent hair removal, but it will significantly reduce the growth of your hair. And if you keep doing it, it's basically, in some areas, it might just be gone. I don't have to shave very often at all. I mean, I can go 2-3 weeks and it still looks pretty much hairless in a lot of areas. So follow the instructions. It's not an overnight thing. You're going to have to go through multiple weeks of using this per the instructions. You have to shave first. Everything in the area that you want to reduce hair, you shave it first. Then you use this according to the manual. And then you'll do a schedule. Maybe it's a week later. You need to shave everything again and repeat. And over time, there'll be a lot less hair. This is not cordless, by the way. I just don't have the cord attached. It's worked pretty good. It has multiple power settings. You need to be aware of where you put it. If the darker the skin you put this on, the more it could produce a pulse. It could be more painful. Watch out for moles. I would say don't do it over any moles. Don't do it over any open wounds. If you just we're in the summer and you got a pretty deep tan, watch what you're doing. Maybe you don't do it during the summer. Again, the darker your skin is, the more it's going to hurt. There's a low power setting you can switch this to. And you don't want to look at it at all when you're using it. They recommend eyeglasses or sunglasses. I mean, you could probably wear your own sunglasses. Just don't look at the light when you use it. You can look away, close your eyes, but maybe use the glasses like they recommend. So if you just want to reduce your hair every once in a while, or have no hair every once in a while, but you want it to grow back in the same way you've had it, maybe this is not for you. So this is the trade-off if you're a guy and you just like to be hairless for a while and you grow it back. I would say stick for shaving. This can be a commitment. It's a trade-off, and think about where you want to do it too. If it's in your pubic area, then maybe that's okay for a lot of people in this community on whether it grows back or not. But what I'm getting to is that it's possible that your hair is not going to grow back in the same pattern. So you use this and you try to be as consistent and even across where you want to use it as much as possible. But it's possible you don't get that perfect pattern. So your hair is going to grow back in patches. So that's not ideal. So just be aware before you do this, you're perhaps committing to something long term, and maybe you don't want that. So if, for example, I've used it on my legs, and perhaps the hair on my legs is not going to grow back exactly the same way. I think it pretty much won't at this point. So maybe don't do that on parts that you don't want to commit to long term. For me, for the pubic area, my butt, I don't particularly care. So there's that. Legs, for guys, it's really up to you. I know a lot of people in this community wouldn't care either. It's kind of nice to have the option, but if you use this, it's going to grow back weird. So you might be, I won't say weird, it's going to grow back uneven. Something to think about. That's the number one trade-off, in my opinion, when you use this thing. Now, there are other laser devices out there that are similar, but what I found is that the hole, the size, the circle size that you use, it's going to take a long time. I wish they had, and I don't want to get into genders topics, but I wish they had a version that could cover more skin space more quickly. So sometimes guys are going to be bigger than women, and it does take a while to get areas of your body. So I'll do a part 2 here in a little bit. Okay guys, here is one of the most important steps, is that after you've done the IPL device, cool off, but put this lotion on. Use this one specifically because it has 2 different acids that I found very helpful. It's this S acid, I'm not even going to try to say it, but that's in a lot of products. And the one that I think that is additive that you don't see in a lot of products is this lactic acid, and it's also, I believe it also goes by hyaluronic acid. Those are 2 chemicals that I don't see in a lot of lotions, and I found that when you have the combination of these 2, it works for me. And when I say it works, it means it prevents red bumps, and it prevents ingrown hairs. Those are going to be your worst enemies. So after you do the IPL treatment, sure, you can put this on, make sure you're not sensitive to it, but on the days that you're not doing the IPL treatment, so the rest of the week, use this at least twice a day. It is a bit expensive, but I found that this is a good way to go. If you're just starting out, it's an absolute requirement. You're going to get ingrown hair. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to look horrible. It won't feel soft. So do this. Even if you don't do the IPL treatment, if you're just sticking to shaving, you got to have this. This is the brand I recommend. There's another brand that has the similar chemicals, this amylactin. If you do a search, this one will probably come up as well. This one smells horrible. It is a nasty smell. Don't like it. Don't recommend it. This one does not smell bad. So all these products, the soap that I showed you, they're pretty good. So highly recommended. Don't skip this step. Don't miss it. You'll pay for it if you do skip it.